Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we have got access to Night Rage's account. This guy's insane. He does fusions for fun. He's like, fusions? No worries, I've done it. He has maxed out. He's got the fusion. He's maxed him out. Vergumkaar already. Pulled a bunch of shards. Got kind of lucky. Pulled the shards he needed to get the champions. So he actually just pulled the epics straight out. It's like, bam, epics done. So we've got Vergumkaar in the flesh. Very, very... I know some people are like, what does this champion look like? I tell you what, I love the look of this champion. He does feel like a mount to me. He feels like a kind of rideable character or whatever. Or maybe more like a boss that's going to kind of bring on different minions or something. But still, very unique, very cool. I liked what they've done. Love the way he's kind of carrying shields and weapons and stuff. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to get a first kind of proper look here as should we be fusing this guy. There's massively mixed views right now. We've got some people, some creators have come out and said you should definitely fuse him. Other creators have said trash. Let's actually play with him. Let's see what he's like. And then we can make a proper decision on it. I'm still on the fence, actually. So this is a good chance for me to just check if I like him well enough or not. So I've already done the guide on Caden. If you didn't see that, I posted that yesterday. I'll ping a link to that at the end of the video because that's one of the epics that fuses into this guy. And I think he's actually a really good epic. But let's have a look at this guy's kit then. We do have him booked out here. He's got a stun on an A1. It's actually a cool stun because the chance to increase, chance for the stun increases with every buff the enemy's got on them. So starts at 35%, 45% when booked like this. So we go 60, 90. So if they've got 3 buffs on them, 90% chance they're going to get stunned. And the way I feel with this guy, if you're using him in the arena, it feels like he's meant to go second. There's not many champions like it, but it feels like he is meant to go second in the arena. And he massively feels like an arena champion. We've got an A2, which removes all provokes from your team. And another random debuff as well. So, you know, if they've come at you and provoked your team, basically he's going to be able to come in, rip those provokes off, rip any other debuffs that have landed on you off as well, change those for an increased defense, and also place a shield equal to 20% of his HP. So if you get him in a high HP, then he's going to be putting out some pretty big shields after already putting increased defense and taking all of that nasty stuff away from you. So this move is actually very cool. And the great thing about this move is you decide when you're going to play him, right? So some champions you get, like look at this account's stacked. Some champions like a Trunda, it's like, you know what? She's just in my team. She's in my team all the time. She hits so hard. Why wouldn't I always play her? Vergumkaar is more about a champion that you put into the team when you know provokes are coming at you. And he will give you a chance to get past those provokes. He's got an A3, which attacks all enemies. Attack base, which is a bit weird, but we can test this out. Removes 1 random buff from each enemy. That's kind of cool. 75% chance, no additional chance to change this. 75% chance of removing 2 random buffs from each enemy. Places a block heal on for 3 turns on enemies where they've had a buff removed. Also places a decreased defense for 2 turns on enemies that have had 2 buffs removed. I'll tell you what, I wish this was bookable to 100% for 2 buffs. You know, Gergo, 100% chance to remove 2 debuffs. Madame, straight out removes 2 debuffs. I wish this was bookable to 100%. Because then you get this chance of decreased defense being like consistently going on. And from what I understand, this is the move that he prioritizes, even if provokes are out there, which is weird. But we'll test that in this video. But yeah, this move is cool if they've got 2 buffs on. Again, it relies on you going second for this to be effective. You've then got immune to provokes in a passive. Very awesome. Fills this champion's turn meter. This is the important thing. Fills this champion's turn meter by 20% each time an enemy attempts to place a provoke on him. So what it should do is you should speed tune him so that he will overtake your speed champion if someone tries to provoke you. So you still want to try and go first and win the fight and all that sort of stuff. But he comes into your team a bit like a Valkyrie. Comes into your team if you see a provoked team against you and you want him speed tuned to go second if you get provoked. So that he cleanses all those provokes off of your speed team and then you go, basically you go first. That's the idea. He overtakes the speed of your speed lead, but he also overtakes the enemy tune. That's kind of what you have to do with him. So he's a bit niche, guys. He's a bit niche and he's a bit hard to play. He takes strategy and thinking to play, but he's actually in his spot. He will be really strong. He'll be really strong, certainly in the arena when you're up against provoked teams, certainly in faction wars if you're up against bosses with provoke. And then also, I'm certain of Doom Tower, there will be more provoked bosses. There'll be more waves where you're dealing with provoked enemies. So he will be strong. The question is whether you've got the resources to get him and use him rather than getting those epics. I personally will try and get him just on these bits, but we will try him out now and see how he actually performs. So we're going to try him first the way that he's already been built. So Night Rage has built him with a shield set with immortal gear, basically pushing HP up as much as he can. HP percentage here, HP percentage here, speed on the boots, and then he's got kind of speed and HP wherever he can. He's got pretty high accuracy. He's got an okay crit damage, like 50%, and he's got HP on the ring, HP on the amulet, and then accuracy on the banner. So this is a pretty standard, good build for him, I'd say. Very high HP, which means you're going to get some benefit from this shield. Reasonable level of defense-ish, 2.6k. Good speed, good accuracy. That feels like a strong build on him. In terms of masteries, we have got him in defensive and support masteries, landing on accuracy in the end here to make sure that he lands those debuffs. So I'd say this is kind of like probably what 90% of people will build him like. High HP, able to take a hit, and shield set kind of makes sense on him. Another way you might build him for arena is speed him up more than this. Make sure he's much quicker, much closer to your speed champs, which I can show a bit later. Speed him up, maybe throw his resistance up so that he is... sorry, not his resistance, his defense up so that he is able to take a hit if he needs to, and get his speed much closer to his speed leads. This account's stacked. We've got like triple hedgies, Seafees, arbiters coming out of our ears, and they're all really fast. So let's just try him out straight away in the arena with this type of setup. Refresh the list. We're going to look for, remember, we're looking for specifics here. We're going to look for either a high buff team or a someone like this here, a provoke team. So lots of buffs, lots of provokes. This is a disgusting setup. It's absolutely vile, that setup. Wow, I would hate to face that. So I think we'd go... I'm going to try and push like a tankier team here just to see what we can do. I do not know if these guys are even built well. It's not my account. Let's just see. He's not built at all. She's built to just tank a load of hits. He's built to tank hits and is very slow. And then we're throwing one of these maybe the Duchess. Throwing a Duchess up the front here. Let's go this. So full tank team. I'm not trying to kill them really here. I just want to see what he does. So we obviously go second. Lots of buffs go out. The buffs make Valk give us a turn, so that's cool. We can get counter attack up. She's actually doing a load of damage. We can get block debuffs on us. And so in this instance then, we're now going against a team with 2 buffs. So we got the initiative in speed from Valk. We drop their turn meter, and then he's going to come in and try and strip their buffs. We stripped all the buffs apart from one that can't be removed. Provokes doesn't land because we've got block debuffs up. But basically, switching their buffs into decreased defense and block heal is pretty cool. We didn't actually land it here. And that's going to be a 1 fight. So that fight went through pretty easily. we then have the shield and increased defense come on our team. So even if there's not provokes out, he can still do that ability to renew a shield. So actually, I guess that utility is pretty cool generally. Gets a stun out on his A1, and then bam, she's down. So let's look for another provoke team. Perhaps I'll play it slightly differently on this one. So we've got Krisk with provokes, also with shields and stuff. Let's get rid of Duchess this time and just go with an Arb. Let's try this. So 2 buffs up on everyone because of Krisk, and they already had buffs. So if we're going first, which we are, we can kind of speed up. We don't get the initiative though. They're going. It actually Bash has knocked me cooldowns out. So I've got one more cooldown here. Now this one is 35% chance. Remember, 15% extra chance for each buff on the target. So I can stun this Arbiter 100%. Because she didn't have block debuffs up, 100% knew that was going to land. So that's very cool. Gets me a chance to get back into the fight. So, and this is where I think he becomes very strong, right? So it's when you're tactically using him, he becomes strong. Not when you're kind of just hopeful that something's going to land. When you look at the team you're up against and you think, yeah, this could work. That's when he becomes strong. So I think we can just turn meter boost here. Should get his initiative, yeah. So in this instance, we've got no provokes on us. So we're going to try and remove their buffs. So it's what is it? 100% chance to remove 1, and it's 75% chance to remove 2. Okay. Put heal reduction on the ones where we remove 1. So obviously the Arbiter's heal is not going to do any effect now. I think we'll just try and let Krisk put a make sure he's not killing us. I'm going to let Krisk put a provoke on us. So we're just going to kill him out of the game. Just on an A1 here. Come on, Krisk, do something. So he's not doing the provoke yet. He's doing his ally attack. We got the stun off though because we had like what 60% chance there. No, more than that. Probably about 70% chance, which is very cool. He's actually, you know what? He's actually really good. He's actually very good. He's much better than I think we originally thought he was going to be. Come on, Krisk. Lay it on us. Let's get a stun off again. Didn't quite land that time. Provokes anywhere? No provokes. Krisk, you're letting us down. Maybe he's just too weak. Let's try and find another one. Morley team here. Let's try this one. So I love the stun on his A1, actually. I love that kind of mechanic. It's good. We're just going to A1 here. We're going to let a provoke come out on us. Hopefully we don't die. So Morley provoke. Bam. Provokes on everyone. Now, if I'd speed tuned it, as I'd said in my original point, that he actually overtakes the rest of my team, we could cleanse all of those provokes off. As it goes, he's not speed tuned to do that in this setup. But in this sense, remove this provoke here. Give us a shield and give us increased defense where he's removed a buff. It's a good move, guys. It's a good move. We can then try and take the initiative back. And at this stage, we're getting counters with obviously from our Valk, so we're going to get stuns off. So he takes, I think he's going to take some work. He's going to take some setup. People with extremely big brains are going to be using him to massive effect in the arena. I think he could end up being pretty high tier, not like top tier because it's not like everyone's running provoke teams, but there's plenty of people that do. There's plenty of people that run Angar team, stun off there, that's nice. Plenty of people that run an Angar, that run a Umbral, a Morley. Like these are all champions that are in the meta. It's not like we're kind of seeing them now and then. They're properly in the meta. Let's just see if we can get one more example. of this provoke going off. So again, a Morley team here. Depends if this Trunder's strong enough to just outright kill us. So it's a pretty good shield set to start with. We're just going to try and slow her down. Let them have a turn. Out comes the provoke on 2. So we get the initiative here. See, this is exactly the way it should play. We get the initiative of that turn meter gain. We remove all provoke from our team. Replace it with shield and increased defense, which is actually a massive swing. It's a massive swing. And at that point, you're kind of back in the game. The big ability that they've done, and that's it. I mean, this team is all about being locked out by Morley and then the rest of the guys doing their damage. If you're not locking them out, then pretty much, you know, you're in trouble. So what's this guy actually do? I don't have a Soulless myself. Attacks all enemies. Increase the duration of all debuffs. Don't want to do that. Attack 3 times at random. Each hit, 75% chance to remove a buff. Place provoke if a buff's removed. Okay. Stun A1. He's actually kind of cool, this guy. He's a bit like Vergumkaar, actually. Oh. It's close. But yeah, A1 stun, A2 utility, A3 utility. All of it's good. All of it is good. So this one, attacks all enemies, removes a buff. So this is the only chance of a buff removal, but it's an AoE. I guess the only thing is, when there's not really buffs to remove, you know, if you go first, there's not really buffs to remove. He doesn't really have a big hitter. But let's come out of this one. So I think with that sort of setup, he works. With like those niche arena picks, he works. Let's see what happens if we run him in just like general content. So, you know, how effective is he at supporting the team in different dungeons? So in terms of affinity, he's green affinity, which means he's going to be neutral on Ice Golem. He's going to be neutral on main spider. He's going to be weak on main dragon. And he's going to be strong on main fire knight. So dragon's the only area where he's weak, which is cool as well. So 1 out of 4 here, you probably wouldn't bring him into. Let's just see what happens here. So there is a provoked mechanic in Ice Golem on the ads. We can just work our way through here. I mean, really, in honesty, he's going to do a bit of damage here. It's actually done quite a bit of damage there. 25k hits. So in a minute, you know what we're going to do, guys? We're going to build him for damage in a minute and see what he actually hits for. Sometimes these attack-based champions with a low base hit really hard. Like Sinead is an example. She's got a really low base attack, but if you get her going, she hits really freaking hard. So we're just going to whack our way through all this stuff. Main thing I want to show you is the boss part of the fight here. But obviously, him bringing in shields, increased defenses, stuff like that, removes the buff from these ads on Ice Golem, which on 20 is actually a massive thing to do. Removing those buffs is huge because it's one of the hardest hitting things. Put shields on you here. Very nice. We're going to slam down those ads. So those shields are going to help you get through this Ice Golem slam. We've got debuffs on us now. Freezes and stuff. Obviously, there's no buffs to remove here, so we're not going to get any additional benefit from that. There goes that shield up again, though. We're actually blocking debuffs from these guys. But he's strong here, to be fair. He is strong here. You know, the ability to just put shields up on you and yeah, in between these hits is pretty strong. but he's not going to be doing the decreased defense on these guys. There's not enough buffs to. There's never any buffs to remove, so that's not really going to come into effect. It's not provoked, is it? It's not provoked. These guys place. What do these guys place? Decrease. Is it heal reduction and decrease defense? So the provoke thing wouldn't ever work. But, you know, he's done an okay amount of damage, 257. He's come in and shielded up a bunch of stuff for the team. I mean, maybe if we run it with a weaker team here. Like, do we have some weak source champions that I can bring in? This is the thing, not doing it on my account. I don't know who's built and stuff, but let's see if we brought in some different champs. Let's try this. You know, where you need a bit more protection, perhaps. So we can do buffs. Seer, working with this team, will rip off the buffs and should be kind of like our wave nuke. There's that done. Gets a stun on his A1. I do like that stun on his A1, actually. It's actually a very good part of his kit. I do feel like he's better than we're giving him credit for. If I was speed tuning this properly for my own benefit, I would make sure that the Morsian Mage is actually quicker than the Seer here. It would make it much stronger. So we get our buffs up, our shields up, which protects us from some of this damage. And obviously Seer deals with that. 5k A1. It's okay. Get ourselves through to the boss here. So, you know, without all of those legendaries in here to try and sort of make everything happen, what sort of work is he going to do? Obviously, Morsian Mage, brilliant here. Seer, brilliant here. Seer's going to rip all of our buffs off in a minute, so we need to see what happens in that instance. So, it's next round. 20k hit on a crit. It's not bad considering the gear he's wearing. There we go. Seer does a load of work. So then we remove the freeze and we replace it with a shield and an increased defense. Actually, a really good... Yeah, he's very good here. Very good here. These guys have got the ability to place debuffs. Will they get it off or will we block it? They should get it off here. So we stunned him. There we go. Decreased defense on all of us. Removes that, replaces it with shield and increased defense if he's removed the buff. That's a really good move, guys. Like, the more I'm seeing him in action, the more I'm keen to get him, actually. Or at least, you know, he brings enough utility. For most people playing the game, he's going to bring enough utility to make him really valuable. Question is now, like, this is where it gets heated. In comes the big shield. Heal reduction comes on us. We don't really have any damage left apart from Seer. But placing the stuns here gives us a chance. Placing the shields here gives us a chance. Basically makes us survive these hits. We would be dead right now if we weren't running with that sort of comp. And hopefully Seer can just do some work. Stay alive. Oh, she didn't stay alive. And we're probably just about going to fail. But not because of him, because of the rest of the comp. He's actually done quite a ton of work there. He's actually done a ton of work. And he's not finished. Like, I don't think he's going to carry by himself, but... No, he's not. But he's not far off it. So 360k versus these guys. You know, he's doing work. With the right comp, I think he actually he fills that role pretty well. Okay, then let's try him out on Spider. So we're done with an HP burn strat. We've got one drop turn meter champ. Vergumkaar's pretty much here to remove poison. When he removes poison, he's going to swap that over for an increased defense and a shield. So I'm bringing him in shield set, same build, nothing's changed there. And we should have decreased defense and attack going out from our stag. We then do an AoE hit. I guess you've got to make sure you don't really put any damage onto him for this sort of setup, because you want the burns to do the damage, not Vergumkaar. But he shouldn't do a ton of damage anyway. If I was building him just for Spider, I'd take the crit out of his build completely. We're actually going for our Cold Heart. Now, because we've removed the 2 poisons, you see how we've replaced it with an increased defense. Increased defense swaps the targeting for the Spiderlings. So if there's one champ with increased defense like Cold Heart's got here, the Spiderlings will not target that Cold Heart. They'll go for the next person in the list, which, as long as you understand that, you can play it to your advantage like we're doing here. So actually, we've done a bit too much damage to the Spiderlings, which means the HP burns have kind of burnt through and killed the spiders. But he's definitely viable here. Is he going to come around in time? No, he's not. He's not quite coming around in time to rescue our Cold Heart here. Or is he? Is he going to get a chance? No, he's not, I don't think. Go on. Have a go. Have a go. Ah, shame. If he'd had a turn there, he would have shielded her instead, removed 2 of those poisons, and then actually the targeting would have swapped to someone else. And that would have been almost an epic moment in the video. But still, we're in good shape. The spiders should now target maybe Ultimate Gaelic. Depends on HP levels here. Oh no, going back here because the decreased defense is gone. That's fine. Ultimate Gaelic should get his burns out again. Thank you very much. And then considering the type of comp we're running here, I mean, you know, Stag Knight could be any decreased defense champion, really. Stag Knight or Tyrell are kind of optimal for this setup. Will Vergumkaar save this one? No, he's just too slow. Like another 3 or 4 speed, we'd be seeing some absolute epic plays right here. Anyway, doesn't matter. We're going to do it. 2 minutes odds with the HP burn strat. And again, if you were bringing in an actual tank here, or like double tank setup, instead of the Cold Heart, you could be bringing in, you know, like your Cantor or your Razin or whatever, then potentially this is even stronger. But definitely feels like he's viable here. He's not like a 6 out of 5. He's not like an MVP. But he's probably like a 4 or 5 out of 5 in terms of that support role. So probably a 4. So again, not insane, but good. Ice Golem, not insane, but good. Arena, niche in the right teams. He's extremely good. Ice Golem and Spider, both of them kind of like 4s out of 5. Dragon, I mean, we show him. We have to do the full video. Yes, I'd like to see this actually. I've never seen him played in a Dragon run. Let's see what happens here. So he's basically coming in as a support carry for this sort of setup. Hedgy drop attack, block out skills, I guess is cool. Just a bit more shielding and stuff like that. Nothing else than that really. He's going to do shielding. He's going to do a bit of AoE damage. When we get to the actual dragon part of the fight, I guess is where he steps up his game, because he's going to be cleansing off those debuffs on you, replacing them with increased defense, replacing them with shields. That move, for me, is his strongest move. Like, it's actually, it's a pretty solid move. So we're going to get through to the boss fine. We've got a strong team here anyway. Gets a stun off on his A1, which is always going to be nice. So this is the part of the fight I'm interested in then. We get the drop defense and that off. We get our shields up so that if we do take some damage, it's not going to hit us that hard. But we are going to take debuffs. I guess if you ran him in, if you're taking stuns and he was at pretty high resistance, then are we going to take any debuffs? Maybe we're not. There we go. Here comes some debuffs. Are we going to get a chance to remove them? Maybe I'm going to take it off auto for a second so that I don't just absolutely clean him out here. So here we go. Remove remove 2 debuffs. Replacing them with increased defense and shields. It's a solid move for Dragon, guys. So, I don't know, guys. Look, I'm not trying to sell him to you as the best champion I've ever seen, but a lot of people will not have a ton of legendaries here. If you don't, and you can get him, I tell you what, he's going to carry you through a bunch of content. I mean, on Fire Nights, he can come in and do a run for you, yeah? He's going to come in and do a run. He doesn't have any multi-hits, so it's going to be similar to what we've just seen there. The Fire Knight boss is not going to have any buffs, so we're not going to be placing decreased defense. We're not going to even be placing heal reduction, which would have been cool. That would have been a cool move to be able to place on Fire Knight, but the Fire Knight boss does not buff himself. So, you know, basically it's null and void. We can't steal or remove a buff from the Fire Knight boss, which means we can't place heal reduction. So it feels like to me that should have just been, one or the other thing should have just been like a given. You'll place heal reduction, and then if you remove buffs, you'll place decreased defense. Something like that. Otherwise, it would have just made him way, way, way better. Way better in like general content. So the last thing I'm going to do then, guys, is spice him up, see if he actually does damage. Yeah, I'm going to change his kit to just be massively attack focused and see if this AoE slams. Why not? So to the AoE slam, he's got an A1 and an A3, which both scale off attack. Let's see what it does. Okay, guys, for the sake of testing, we're going to see if this guy does damage. It's probably like an unrealistic test for most people, but sometimes these attack-based champions, which have got a low base attack, if you bump their attack up high, they actually do a ton of damage. Sinasha is a good example. Sinasha has got really low base attack, like, what's hers? 892, but you put attack on her, and she hits like a truck in the arena. So this guy, who knows, maybe he's got like a really good set of multipliers on him, and will be able to hit hard. So what I've done is I've pushed him into probably like a strong attack gear as I could find. Savage gear, which means that he's going to be ignoring defense. Crit rate gloves, attack percentage chest, attack percentage boots, attack on all, attack and crit damage basically on all of the items for his artifacts. Gives us a total stats of 165 speed, very slow. 3.8k attack, which is high considering he's got a base of 914. 100% crit. 224 crit damage in Savage, and the masteries are down to Helm Smasher, kind of like my standard damage kind of setup, really. So we're going to test him. I think we're going to Fire Knight just to see what he's like against a wave. So he has got neutral affinity here. No, positive affinity here. Positive affinity here. We're going to go with my kind of damage setup. This is how I tend to test people in terms of damage potential. What I might start doing, in fact, I should start doing, is almost rank people with this test. So that'd be fun to do. But basically, we go increase attack because he's attack based. We drop defense of the enemy. We poison the enemy, which gives us more damage through Bad El's passive. We poison ourselves, which gives us more damage through Gurptuk's passive. And then we come in with our AoE slam. So we've got an AoE here. Let's just see what it does. Let's slow it down. Oh, it's actually pretty juicy. He's got some pretty good multipliers. 100k up to about 130k. That's not bad at all, actually. That's not bad at all. Let's rotate back through to his A1. And see if his A1 hits as well. Providing they're still alive. Actually dead. So it's only decreased defense to weaken, still back on. A2's not a hitter, so that's not going to do anything. Don't think it hits, does it? No, just a shield. So A2, 117k. I tell you what, it's good damage. That's good damage. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. It's more than I thought it was going to be. So, you know, without any debuffs on at all, A3, what's that, like 20 up to 40 without any decreased defense and stuff. Obviously, look, it's very niche. It's very unlikely this is how you're going to be building him. But the fact that it's possible is just good fun. Just good fun. He can be used from other stuff. Or if you start to load some crit rate and crit damage and attack into his build alongside those other stats, you know you're not wasting it, because 100k hit there is kind of as strong as a lot of the stronger legendaries. I mean, it's not like Kandrathon, you know, 200 odd k slam damage, but we're talking 100k A1 in this sort of kit. It's about as strong as he's going to be, the gear that we've got on now. So, you know, if you've got, I'd say, reasonable gear and you're wearing speed boots instead of attack percentage boots, maybe we'd be looking at something like, you know, 60 to 80k, which is still very strong. So, actually, good multipliers on him. That's better than I thought it was going to be. Let's come to the last point that I want to check, because as we've been playing around here, there's actually something which I've realised could be useful. So, he's got this A2, which you book to a 3-turn cooldown, removes all debuffs, all provokes, and 1 random debuff from allies. So you can actually make him be your clan boss cleanser. And the cool thing about it is, if he cleanses a stun, whoever he's cleansing that stun from will gain increased defense. Will he place 2 allies if buffs have been removed? Yeah. So let's say you've got Tyrell taking up a stun, who's defense-based. You remove the stun, you put increased defense on him, your Tyrell's hitting harder. He's also able to tank up the next hit better. So, actually, and at the same time as doing that, he's putting a shield on all your team for 20% of his HP, which is solid. So, I tell you what, for a lot of people that have not got many legendaries and, you know, running standard style clan boss teams, he could be pretty useful. Like shielding, increased defense, none of this is going to go on. You can remove the attack buff from the clan boss. So you can remove the attack buff from the clan boss. It will replace it with a heal reduction, which you don't really want to go on, but it's better than the clan boss having attack up. And this is on a 3-turn cooldown as well, so none of these are going to fall out of sync if you book them up. And then the A1's just going to be hitting. So he's definitely not the best person in the world to do this, but he's also not the worst. So, you know, again, like middle of the road, like cleanser. So cleanse with shield, pretty useful for clan boss, I'd say. So I'm going to re-gear him, do his masteries for clan boss. That's going to be the last test, and let's see what we do. Okay, guys, last build then. We're going to be doing clan boss. So clan boss, what have I done? I have set him up to have high defense, 3.7k, high HP, the right speed for Ultra Nightmare, and enough accuracy to remove that increased attack. I've put a bit of crit rate on him. Again, it's good gear, guys, but it's not crazy gear. Like, most of it's 5 or 6 star. Obviously, tune it down to whatever gear you're running, but I wanted to show him in a good light. Masteries, I've switched out again. So this time we have moved to War Master. I've gone down the kind of accuracy tree to land some of his removal debuff stuff. And then I've also gone for this kind of increase the value of shields set and chance to place the increased defense and the shields for longer. So this feels like a pretty good clan boss setup to me. I'm going to be running him alongside Skull Crusher for counter, Grush for healing, albeit he's not in War Master set, so he's not made here for clan boss, but it's not terrible. Tyrell, who is going to just be in sort of any old gear really. Frozen Banshee, just fast enough to be and enough defense to last. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's it. So this is almost like a perfect example of the type of team you might run it in. We're against an affinity boss here. Not going for this super duper unkillable. We're going for more like a standard comp. And again, like for some people that are watching this, this is probably going to be a realistic comp that you might actually be running right now, you know, or similar to that. You know, we've got a free champion in Grush. You might not have the counter, so you might be using an ally attack instead of the counter there, or just running faster. Tyrell's the lead. Grush, who's a free champion, and Frozen Banshee, which eventually you'll get from Mystery Shards. So Fusion, free champion, on everyone's wish list, and then a couple of other champs, which can be subbed. Obviously, you can sub them in for whoever you want. So the idea here is, now initially, at this stage of the fight, you're actually going to want to do your cleanse. So if you want this to auto very early, you actually want to go ahead and use this ability straight away. And what that will do is, when that happens in the fight, that will just throw the cleanse ability out. So if we see this fly through now, we'll get our counter attack up. And at this stage, from full auto, we're going to be... Actually, Tyrell got resisted there. Did I check his accuracy? Maybe I didn't. We just removed the attack from the clan boss, which is nice. Always a good place to be. Still not seen Tyrell do a decreased attack yet, which is worrying me. Oh, he has put decreased defense out, though. Thank you, Tyrell. Thank you, Tyrell. You did it wrong. Bam. Stun goes on. It's actually gone on, because of affinity, it's gone on Grush. But we've cleansed that straight off, no problem. And then we're just back into the fight. That's the value that he's going to bring to a clan boss team. We've not landed decreased attack once yet. Tyrell perhaps was... Oh, he is doing it. Okay, he's doing it. We didn't actually land the steel buff off there. Didn't happen. So I think it's, if I remember rightly here, if I'm getting this right, it's a 75% chance. I don't think it was resisted. I think he just didn't do it. But we will check it again in the next one. Stun's coming out now. Stun goes on. Grush. And we actually, because he had another debuff on, we didn't cleanse the stun. We only cleansed one. We cleansed all of the decreased accuracies from everyone. And this is what I was saying earlier. I really wish it was just cleanse all of the debuffs on you. But it's that chance to only cleanse one means that you're on an affinity boss like this, then you're cleaning off whatever else he's putting on you. Which is not ideal, because you actually want him to cleanse a stun every time. On a normal clan boss, like Void, then 100% of the time you're going to clean stun. But you see there, we did clean the stun that time. So look, I'm going to let this play through. But shields, cleanse, debuffs. It's not bad utility, guys. Look, for most people, remove the increased attack. For most people, this is a good clan boss champion. Until you get further into the game and you can, build much stronger teams, this is actually a pretty solid clan boss champion. Let's see what the damage does at the other end, and then I'll do my kind of final review. Okay, so Skull Crusher's just gone down. I haven't got a second ally protection, which is always a danger with this style of comp. So we're going to start to probably lose people here. And again, the stuns, when you've got the affinity bosses, it's a bit 50-50, whether you're taking the stun off or not, which is annoying, actually. That is annoying. On Void bosses, it's great. On non-Voids, it's not so good. I mean, the team was not built insanely here. We've done 13 million on Ultra Nightmare. Vergumkaar has done 1 million. Same as the Skull Crusher, a bit less than the Grush. And these guys are not built like crazy. They're built okay. Frozen Banshee's done 8. I think up until Nightmare, he does a good job. On Ultra Nightmare, he does an okay job. On a Void, he's certainly better than on non-Void. But he's an option, guys. He's an option. So I'm not going to be saying like he's insane. But in terms of my ratings, I've just put him into my tier list here. Vergumkaar, I've put him as a 4 for Clan Boss. I think he's got some utility there, but not insane. 4 for Dragon, 5 for Spider, 4 for Ice Golem, 3 for Fire Knight. I've gone 5 for Arena Offense in the right situation. You choose that. I can't tell you when to choose that. And then I've gone for 3 for Arena Defense, because in most instances, he will just get outplayed. He will get outplayed in a lot of setups, because they won't be coming at you with a provoked team against a Vergumkaar. But Faction Wars is not on this list, but he will be highly regarded in Faction Wars for this faction, because they need it. And eventually, I'd imagine when Doomtown gets added to this list, he's going to score pretty well there. So by no means, guys, he's not like a bottom tier, Gerptuck, Druckle, sitting down the bottom of the list. He's well into the mid-tier for me. Better than we think. I'm not saying go and waste all your resources on him. He's not the best champion. He's not going to set the world alight. But I tell you now, he's better than we think he is. Hope you enjoyed the guide, guys. Really interesting for me to try him out. I will be fusing him myself. But as I say, he's not insane. He's just good. I've been Hell Hades. I'll catch you later.